Good day, it's June 10th, 2023. I'm Esmeralda Padilla-Gould and welcome to The Pulse.
And I'm Sam Buban.
We'll start with the newsmaker of the week. Mike Pence announced that he is running for president during a speech at a community college in Des Moines, Iowa, Wednesday this week. Mike Pence, according to multiple media outlets that covered the event, took the opportunity to directly attack former President Donald Trump for the first time in public. Mike Pence, in his speech, said that on that perilous day, as Trump supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol after the former president falsely insisted that his vice president could overturn the election results, Trump demanded that I choose between him and our Constitution, speaking before a crowd in Iowa. Now voters will be faced with the same choice, Pence added. The former vice president also denounced his two-time running mate of abandoning conservative principles, dereliction of duty on January 6, 2021. Pence also added that he believes that anyone who puts himself over the Constitution and anyone else to put them above the Constitution should never be president of the United States again. Mike Pence also took the opportunity to criticize President Joe Biden on the direction of the country. He also bemoaned the behavior of the faction of the Republican Party on what he described as the politics of grudges and grievances. That the country needs leaders who know the differences between the politics of outrage and standing firm. We will restore the threshold of civility in public life, added Pence.
New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu decided not to join the GOP presidential nomination contest. Sununu said the GOP presidential race is better off without him. He announced that he is not running on CNN, but detailed his reason not to in an op-ed on Washington Post to explain his fan base who wanted him to run against Donald Trump. Governor Sununu, in his op-ed, said, "Our party is in a collision course with electoral irrelevance without significant corrective action. The stakes are so high for a crowded field to hand the nomination to earn just 35% of the vote," Chris Sununu said. The 35% is a reference to 2016 Republican presidential nomination of Donald Trump, who won the nomination by just 35%. Sununu said that as a non-candidate who will not be afraid to speak out candidly about issues, candidates, and the direction of the party, untethered from the limitations of a presidential campaign and unleashed from the conventional boundaries. His powerful point on the op-ed was when he said, "Donald Trump is the past. He's trying to relitigate 2020 and talk about January 6th and all sort of things. We need to be about the future and get those independents that it isn't just a one-size-fits-all big government solution out of Washington. That Donald Trump's message killed us in 2018, really hurt us in 2020, and we should have had 53 senators now, but his message killed it," Sununu added.
Michael Cohen, the former Trump lawyer who gained his notoriety for his role in the Stormy Daniels case, for which Trump has now been indicted on 32 counts of criminal fraud under New York statutes, and has filed a $500 million lawsuit against Trump last month for witness intimidation. But this week, Trump's attorneys are asking Michael Cohen to turn down the heat. Trump, who at every given opportunity has bad-mouthed and disparaged his former attorney at every opportunity in the media in public speaking, has considered Cohen as a very damaging witness for the prosecution against the former president. Michael Cohen pleaded guilty and had served time for lying on matters relating to the Stormy Daniels case. over alleged campaign finance law violation by Donald Trump. Michael Cohen has been cooperating in many investigations of Donald Trump and now has earned some kind of redemption for previous misdeeds working for Donald Trump, but has consistently earned the ire of the former president. It appears that Trump wasn't happy of the possibility that he may sit again on a deposition in the case filed against him by Michael Cohen.
We're going to take a commercial break. Please stay with us.
Pure Medical Equipment provides top-notch quality medical supply equipment. Whether to rent or buy, Pure Medical Equipment and Supplies has it all.
Pure Medical Equipment is committed to serve and give back to Southern Nevada.
We deliver medical supplies and rentals to your door.
With the many recent changes and focus on immigration law, now more than ever is the time to seek the help you need from an attorney you can trust. As an immigrant myself, I know the many difficulties and hardships involved in immigrating to this great country. With more than 10 years of experience in handling immigration cases, our firm can provide the necessary answers and solutions to your needs. Call Calderon Law today so we can work together to help you get the peace of mind you and your loved ones deserve.
There needs to be a space involved associated with having the sound waves expand fully.
The difference between traditional headphones and Aircom audio is that the air tube gives you 8 times more space, allowing the sound waves to fully develop before they actually hit your eardrums. And this gives it a much more live, natural sound, just like in a recording studio.
It's real nice that someone actually addressed the physics associated with how sound comes out.
The challenge we had was to create an earbud with enough airspace for the sound to fully develop and breathe. Unfortunately, traditional earbuds are about the size of a jelly bean, and there's just not enough airspace. However, that changed when we developed Airflow Audio. Airflow uses an air tube to deliver 6 to 8 times more airspace than traditional earbuds. The end result is a true live listening experience, just like you're at a festival or a concert. We also added magnets to the back of the earpieces so you can wear it around your neck when you're not using it.
Being that the drivers are 8 inches from the earpiece, the magnets do not affect the integrity of the sound at all.
The orange line represents the frequency transmitting through the wire to the speaker, which then converts to the blue sound wave that develops more as it travels up the air tube, producing a balanced, full body and live listening experience.
Another really cool feature is that these earbuds are sweat-proof and water-resistant because they're coated with a super hydrophobic nanotechnology. So now you can be on a skateboard or riding a motorcycle and listen to music as if you were watching a live show or actually in a recording studio.
We're coming to you for help in bringing these unparalleled earbuds to market.
Welcome back to The Pulse. In the state of Nevada, in a report by Fox 5 KVVU-TV, stated that Nevada State Attorney General Aaron Ford announced that the state of Nevada will receive approximately $193 million in settlement from Teva Pharmaceuticals after the company agreed to a settlement regarding its role in the opioid epidemic. With this settlement, the Office of the State Attorney General has brought in a gross amount of $856 million in opioid litigation-related monies to Nevada. This settlement is the most recent example of my office's work to hold accountable those who contributed to the opioid epidemic facing Nevadans, said the Attorney General. I am proud of the work that my office has done on this fight. The money coming to Nevada from these settlements will help our state recover and will help resources flow to Nevadans impacted by this epidemic, he added. For those who are not aware, the opioid crisis has become an epidemic in this country over dependence of patients to several prescription medications that are considered opioid in formula, and users have become addicted to it. Mostly used as painkillers, people became hooked. Pharmaceutical companies were sued by many states for their marketing practices and promoting the products through medical practitioners that resulted in thousands of opioid addicts nationwide. State Attorney General Aaron Ford is on his second term as Attorney General and is a Democrat.
Also in the state of Nevada, in a reporting by the Associated Press, Republican Governor Joe Lombardo is facing a penalty of $1.7 million and possible censure for ethics violation. The alleged violation stemmed from Lombardo wearing a sheriff's uniform or badge during his campaign. According to the Associated Press, documents posted in advance of a June 13 hearing in Reno, Nevada, also recommended the appointment of an ethics compliance liaison to Governor Lombardo's office due to violation of state laws barring public officers from using their position to secure or grant unwarranted privileges, exemptions, or advantages. In his recommendation, Ross Armstrong, Executive Director of the Nevada Commission on Ethics, cited 68 violations of ethics laws that he called willful and serious. Although Lombardo's office declined to comment on the AP report, the lawyers representing the governor called the penalty eye-watering and unprecedented, based on his use of 4 images in his social media during his gubernatorial campaign. The Nevada Commission on Ethics is an 8-member commission appointed by the governor and legislative commission to interpret and enforce state ethics laws.
In the Philippines, COVID-19 new and active cases have risen to 12,385 nationwide as of this week, according to Octa Research Fellow Dr. Guido David, and according to a report in the local newspaper, The Daily Inquirer. But Dr. David said there was a decline in positivity rate from 17.2% to 16.6%. What is unclear to us is what positivity rate they are being based it on. Is it based on the number of population tested and had tested positive, or is it based on the country's total population? The Department of Health has reported new cases this week of 898, which they estimate could be as high as 900 to 1,000 new cases by June 8, 2023. Just a piece of advice, it will be good if you travel to the Philippines and be prepared with face masks and travel insurance that includes hospitalization for COVID-19. Travel insurance can be very helpful for travel delay, emergency medical services, and hospitalization while you are traveling outside the United States. When traveling to the Philippines, whether you are a former Filipino or balikbayan, which the Philippines no longer require COVID travel insurance, or a U.S. citizen, you are better off with a travel insurance. These travel insurances can be purchased online and don't really cost much to buy coverage. In most cases, $35 for your entire trip will cover you up to $50,000 for medical hospitalization, including travel delay reimbursements.
The Graft and Corruption Court in the Philippines, the Sandigan Bayan, has upheld the conviction of former governor of Maguindanao, Sajid Ampatuan, according to a report by ABS-CBN News in the Philippines. In a resolution by the Sandigan Bayan Graft Court, 3rd Division, who heard the motion for reconsideration filed by Sajid Ampatuan, claiming his signature was forged and that some signed under duress, disbursing documents over ghost projects in the province amounting to 90 million pesos, about $1.7 million in today's dollar. The court said, other than presenting an expert witness, maybe talking about the signature, no strong of non-culpability was further presented. In its resolution, penned by Associate Justice Bernelito Fernandez, with the concurrence of Associate Justice Ronald Moreno and Division Chairperson Justice Amparo Cabutahe Tang, in March, Ampatuan, the former governor, and several other Maguindanao provincial officials, including provincial agriculturist Mobisikak Giabel, were found guilty of graft and malversation of public funds over the ghost projects. Giabel, who also filed for reconsideration for his conviction in 2 graft and 2 malversation cases, which the court also denied. Giabel said in his appeal that he was forced to sign the documents by the late Maguindanao Governor Andal Ampatuan Sr. Datu Sajid Ampatuan, a member of the once powerful Ampatuan family of Maguindanao, is presently a vice mayor of the town of Sharif Saidona Mustafa in Maguindanao Sur province. Andal Ampatuan Jr. and Zalde Ampatuan were convicted in 2019 for the 2009 massacre in Sharif Agwak town, where 58 people were gunned down, 32 of which were journalists who accompanied the convoy of one political rival who was going to the capital to file for certificate of candidacy for governor against an Ampatuan family member. But the graft court defendant, Sajid Ampatuan, was acquitted in 2019 of culpability in the 2009 massacre. That incident went down in history as the largest number of journalists killed in one day, according to the International Committee to Protect Journalists. We are going to take a break. Please stick around.
Pure Medical Equipment provides top-notch quality medical supply equipment. Whether to rent or buy, Pure Medical Equipment and Supplies has it all.
Pure Medical Equipment is committed to serve and give back to Southern Nevada.
We deliver medical supplies and rentals to your door.
recent changes and focus on immigration law. Now more than ever is the time to seek the help you need from an attorney you can trust. As an immigrant myself, I know the many difficulties and hardships involved in immigrating to this great country. With more than 10 years of experience in handling immigration cases, our firm can provide the necessary answers and solutions to your needs. Call Calderon Law today so we can work together to help you get the peace of mind you and your loved ones deserve.
There needs to be a space involved associated with having the sound waves expand fully.
The difference between traditional headphones and AirCom audio is that the air tube gives you 8 times more space, allowing the sound waves to fully develop before they actually hit your eardrums. And this gives it a much more live, natural sound, just like in a recording studio.
It's real nice that someone actually addressed the physics associated with how sound comes out.
The challenge we had was to create an earbud with enough airspace for the sound to fully develop and breathe. Unfortunately, traditional earbuds are about the size of a jelly bean, and there's just not enough airspace. However, that changed when we developed Airflow Audio. Airflow uses an air tube to deliver 6 to 8 times more airspace than traditional earbuds. The end result is a true live listening experience, just like you're at a festival or a concert. We also added magnets to the back of the earpieces so you can wear it around your neck when you're not using it.
Being that the drivers are 8 inches from the earpiece, the magnets do not affect the integrity of the sound at all.
The orange line represents the frequency transmitting through the wire to the speaker, which then converts to the blue sound wave that develops more as it travels up the air tube, producing a balanced, full body and live listening experience.
Another really cool feature is that these earbuds are sweat-proof and water-resistant because they're coated with a super hydrophobic nanotechnology. So now you can be on a skateboard or riding a motorcycle and listen to music as if you were watching a live show or actually in a recording studio.
We're coming to you for help in bringing these unparalleled earbuds to market.
Welcome back to The Pulse. There is too much news and internet chatter about the BRICS, which stands for a club of 5 members, a special summit like the G7 of the top 7 economies. The BRICS, which stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, is meeting in Johannesburg, South Africa this year. One goal they want to accomplish is to be able to hammer out economic and trade policies that will allow them to be able to have better bargaining power. Instead of having all trade policies at the advantage of the G7 members like the US, Britain, the EU, and other G7 members in Asia. One of the things they express among the BRICS is to have a new and separate common currency and trade clearinghouse, moving away from the US dollar and the use of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York for trade payments. Russia's President Vladimir Putin is still not sure if he will be present in the BRICS summit because the International Criminal Court has issued a warrant of arrest for Vladimir Putin for war crimes in Ukraine. South Africa, as a signatory member to the ICC Accord, is expected by the ICC to arrest the Russian president if he set foot in South Africa.
In the Ukraine war, the dam in the Dnipro River in South Ukraine, in the Russian-occupied province, which the Ukrainians are trying to retake in a counteroffensive, has collapsed. According to Ukrainian government sources being reported by multiple independent media outlets, the destruction of the Novakhovka Dam was an act of international sabotage by the Russian forces. But the TASS news agency in Russia are saying that the Russians had nothing to do with it. According to a report by Newsweek magazine, Tatiana Timochko, an advisor for Ukraine's Ministry of Environmental Protection and Natural Resources, was quoted as saying the destruction of the dam was a result of terrorist actions by Russian occupiers. She added that This will cause one of the largest man-made disasters in Europe in decades and endanger the lives of thousands of civilians. Russian occupiers had caused an artificial, uncontrolled flood which will be accompanied by inundation of settlements and downstream facilities, Timochko added. Other environmental experts are saying that the collapse of the dam will render Crimea, which was annexed by Russia in the 2014 invasion, will be without water for decades.
We are out of time for today. We ask you to join us again next week here at FilAmTV, The Pulse. I'm Esmeralda Padilla-Gould. Thank you for watching.
And I'm Sam Buban. Thank you, and God bless your week.